A warehouse fire. 6 firefighters go in. None come out. And here's the part most people miss. It wasn't just the fire. It was the building. Stick with me to the end, because I'm going to tell you the one question that changed how firefighters handled vacant buildings across the entire US. And once you hear it, you'll never hear the words warehouse fire the same way again. The story starts in Worcester, Massachusetts. December 3rd, 1999. An abandoned cold storage warehouse is on fire. It's a huge industrial building, 6 stories high, a full city block. From the outside, it looks empty, derelict. Just another abandoned structure. Then the call comes in over the radio. A witness reports seeing 2 homeless people go inside just before the fire started. 2 people might be trapped. That single piece of information changes everything. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're the first fire crew on the scene, you see the smoke, you hear that people might be inside. Do you go in? Just think about it for a second. Drop a comment below right now. In or out, what would you do? The first crews on scene didn't hesitate. They made entry. Because in firefighting, there's a simple, brutal calculus. Property can be replaced. Lives cannot. If someone is inside, every single second matters. As soon as they breach the door, the world vanishes. It's pitch black. Not just dark, but an absolute suffocating blackness filled with thick, acrid smoke. There are 0 landmarks. No furniture, no pictures on the wall, nothing to tell you where you are. And the layout is a nightmare. It's a maze. Room after room, door after door, corridor after corridor, all looking identical. You have to understand what a cold storage building is. These places are built to hold the cold in. That means they are constructed like a sealed box. The walls are incredibly thick, sometimes layered with cork and tar for insulation. There are almost no windows, and to maximize storage, the interior is a labyrinth of small, compartmentalized rooms. In a fire, this design becomes a perfect trap. The smoke doesn't just fill the space, it erases the map. The thick walls hold the heat in like an oven. Have you ever been somewhere so completely dark that you felt lost instantly? Maybe exploring a cave or a basement when the power went out. You put your hand out and can't even see it in front of your face. Now, imagine that feeling, but add searing heat, choking smoke, the constant scream of your air pack alarm, and the weight of all your gear. That's the trap the Worcester firefighters walked into. When there are no landmarks, your brain can't build a mental map. Your internal compass just spins. Left and right start to flip. Your sense of distance becomes distorted. The way you came in, the way out, it stops feeling real. You're completely disoriented. During the initial search for the 2 reported victims, a team of 2 firefighters, Paul Brotherton and Timothy Jackson, radioed that they were lost. They couldn't find their way out. Immediately, rescue efforts began. More teams pushed in, trying to find them. They followed their hose lines. They called out into the blackness. They searched. But in the chaos and the 0 visibility, 2 more firefighters, Jeremiah Lucy and Lieutenant Thomas Spencer, also became disoriented. Then another team of 2, James Lyons and Joseph McGurk, who went in to find the others, were also lost. The building was just too big. The conditions were too brutal. And time, the firefighters' greatest enemy, started winning. Outside, command staff made the agonizing decision to pull all firefighters out. The building was becoming structurally unstable. The risk of collapse was too high. They had to transition from a rescue operation to a recovery. It took 8 days to recover the bodies of all 6 men. This is where we say their names: Paul Brotherton, Timothy Jackson, Jeremiah Lucy, James Lyons, Joseph McDruck, Lieutenant Thomas Spencer. Together, they are known as the Worcester Six. If you're still watching, please take a moment and type W6 in the comments below to honor their sacrifice. In the aftermath, investigators combed through every detail of the fire, and they pointed to a hard, unavoidable truth. The victims who were thought to be inside, they were never there. It was a false report. The 6 firefighters died searching for ghosts. The building's maze-like interior, combined with the heavy smoke, created a fatal scenario where even experienced crews became hopelessly disoriented. And in firefighting, there is one simple line: if you can't orient, you can't exit. Now, here is the part I promised you at the beginning. This is the crucial lesson that rippled across the fire service in the United States after the tragedy in Worcester. Because what everyone learned that day is that vacant doesn't mean empty of hazards, and abandoned doesn't mean safe to enter. Fire departments across the country began to push harder on one central idea: risk versus reward. And one fundamental question became a standard, almost mandatory, part of the size-up process before committing crews deep inside a vacant or derelict building. Here's that question: is the risk we are about to take worth the potential reward? Let's say it again, because it's that important. Is the risk worth the reward? If there's a credible report of a person trapped inside, the answer is almost always yes. Firefighters will risk a lot to save a lot. But if the building is known to be abandoned, empty, and derelict, and the only thing to be saved is the structure itself, is it worth risking a firefighter's life for an empty, crumbling building? The Worcester tragedy forced the fire service to say, no. Bravery is not a plan. Courage doesn't stop a flashover, and fire doesn't negotiate. Some buildings, simply by their design, can steal your sense of direction and your life. So the next time you see a news report and hear the words, warehouse fire, vacant building, crews are making an aggressive interior attack. Remember Worcester? Remember the 6 men who went in and never came out? Man, ask the question that their sacrifice taught us. Ask it every single time. Is the risk really worth it? If this story taught you something or made you think, please share it. Not for views, but for memory. Let's make sure the lessons learned from the Worcester Six are never forgotten. And before you go, drop your #1 safety rule in the comments, whether you're a firefighter, an EMT, a police officer, or a civilian. One simple line of advice from you could help someone else go home safe at the end of their day. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.